And now to our top focus for today. After the bilateral engagement, a joint statement has been released by India and Japan. Both sides have called for a zero-tolerance approach towards terrorism by agreeing to strengthen cooperation against terrorist groups like the Al-Qaeda, Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Toiba. India and Japan called on Pakistan's government to book the perpetrators of Mumbai and Pathankot terror attacks. The Prime Minister of Japan, Abe, and his Indian counterpart have also called on the United Nations member countries to implement the United Nations Security Council resolutions dealing with designation of terrorist entities. Foreign Secretary of India, Jay Shankar, in his briefing said that the two nations have decided to strengthen cooperation against terror groups, and also he went on to name directly Pakistan-based terror outfits Lashkar-e-Toiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed. Earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe laid the foundation stone for the bullet train project in Ahmedabad. The two countries also signed agreements in areas of science and technology, sports, cooperation for Make in India, civil aviation and disaster and risk management. The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi revealed that Japan invested $4.7 billion in India in 2016 and 17, which is 80% higher than the last year.
The other big issue which came up was terrorism. And, again, Japan is a country which has always maintained that it has zero tolerance on this issue. And we agreed on rooting out safe havens, on disrupting terrorism networks, financing channels, and halting cross-border movement of terrorists. You will see in the joint statement, the two countries have specifically agreed to cooperate in dealing with threats from Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Toiba and other affiliates.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also said India Post and Japan Post will collaborate to ensure Japanese citizens can order food from their country in India.
हमने जापान के नागरिकों के लिए वीजा ऑन अराइवल की सुविधा तो पहले से ही दी रखी है और अब हम इंडिया पोस्ट और जापान पोस्ट के सहयोग से एक फुल बॉक्स सर्विस की भी शुरुआत करने जा रहे हैं ताकि भारत में रह रहे जापानी लोग सीधा जापानी से अपने पसंदीदा भोजन मंगा सकें.
And for more on this story, I am joined live right now by my colleague, correspondent Ramesh Ramachandran, who's currently in Gujarat tracking the latest. Ramesh, thanks again for joining me. Food, defense, disaster management, language, there was a lot to talk. Could you please wrap it up for the benefit of our viewers?
Absolutely, Daniele. There are 60 points in the India-Japan joint statement, and they straddle bilateral, regional and global issues of mutual concern to both India and Japan. But to my mind, points number 52, 53 and 54 from the joint statement would give you a sample or a flavor of the kind of relationship we are actually talking about here. 52 deals with the Indo-Pacific region, and it specifically mentions about trilateral cooperation between and among India, Japan and the US on the one hand, and Japan, US and Australia on the other hand. Remember, Australia has always been wanting to join the trilateral to make it a quadrilateral arrangement in the Indo-Pacific region, but India has sidestepped that issue for now. But that is significant given the the stakes that are high for both India and Japan in the Indo-Pacific region. Point number 53 in the joint statement talks about the North Korean issue, and to my mind that is one issue that of paramount importance to Japan in particular, and India and Japan are on the same page on the issue of North Korean crisis and ways to de-escalate it going forward. And to my mind, India is also mentioned in the joint statement about how those countries who are complicit in helping North Korea with their nuclear and ballistic missile program should also be taken action against. And the clear inference there is to Pakistan. And point number 54 deals with the other issue of terrorism, which, as you mentioned just a moment ago, Daniele, it is of paramount importance to India in particular, and the fact that the specific mention of terror groups such as Jaish-e-Mohammed is very significant.
And Ramesh, I would like to ask you, do you think that the relation between India and Japan is perhaps one of the most successful achievements of the Modi government when it comes to foreign affairs?
Absolutely. There are many commonalities, complementarities, convergences between India and Japan. And India and Japan, remember, they do not have any outstanding bilateral issues or differences or outstanding differences, be it maritime security or even land boundaries. So that is one big advantage. The other is the complete presence of strategic trust between India and Japan. On both these counts, the Indian and Japanese relationship with China stands in stark contrast. And to my mind, that is one thing that we should take note of in the context of the regional dynamic obtaining in Asia today, given the differences between India and Japan with China. And China, as we've been talking on WION, is the proverbial elephant in the room. To my mind, the India-Japan relationship will grow from strength to strength in the years ahead and will become a factor of peace and security and stability in the wider Indo-Pacific region.
Thank you very much. This was my colleague Ramesh Ramachandran, who literally followed step by step every single movement and every single happening between the two Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe.